So next week I'm going to be going on a business trip with my dad. Just a quick little flight. Why not? You know what I mean? So I've been thinking of ways to keep myself occupied on the 10-hour flight or whatever. Or I think it's 6 hour, then 3 hour. I don't know. But anyway, I kind of rediscovered my original DS. I've kind of forgotten about it. It's always been sitting here inside the DS bag. And unfortunately, it was sitting here, and I was getting fed up with my Wii because I think my Nintendo Wii kind of finally crapped out on me because it will not connect to the internet now. After about an hour of trying to fiddle with it, it did connect for a couple seconds, and then it froze once again. So I think it's just fried. So Nintendo, my Wii won't be on the internet anymore. But whatever. I'll just. I mean, it still plays games perfectly fine, but well, anyway, so I was getting pretty frustrated, and I threw a magazine. Happened to be this was on the magazine, and the DS flew across the room and cracked one of the hinges. So I had to fix that with E6000, and it actually turned out to go quite well. I was going to do a video about how to repair a DS because I disassembled the whole thing. Then I realized I didn't have to, so I just put it back together, then fixed it. But I just was not in the mood to film it. I was just really pissed off. But yeah, I'd have to say, E6000 has really helped me a lot on a lot of stuff. You can see right there how it broke. You see, inside there's like a pin that goes in there. The pin actually has a hinge, so one half of the pin can move away, or can move without moving the other side of the pin. And there's like a ball bearing in there which makes it click. Now, unfortunately, with this first design, now of course I think the 3DS is a little better. It just looks more rugged. Now this is the Japanese 3DS. I got this because I was too impatient to get the American one because I think it was a couple months late that the American one came out. I can't remember though. Maybe this is the console that first came out in the United States. But either way, I wanted to get the Japanese one because for the past couple years, okay, you guys probably know how transistors have been one of my biggest stumbling blocks for the past couple of years, like decade or whatever. Well, one of my other stumbling blocks that even though how hard I try, I just can't figure it out, is Japanese language. I bought the Rosetta Stone for Japanese a couple years ago, and I know about, I'd say, 250 words, and I know how to make small sentences, but still, the Japanese language is just still a big mystery to me. So, I bought a Japanese 3DS so I could play Japanese games on it, like new Zelda for the 3DS. And also, I think I have the game in here. No, this is another Zelda game. Never mind. But I also have Pokemon White in the Japanese version, which, since the original DS isn't region locked, I could play the Japanese games on my original DS. But anyway, that aside, so this original DS, this is the very first one from 2004, I think. It just doesn't seem to be as strongly structured as the later versions. But that's kind of expected because the first ones are always kind of, well, it's more like a prototype for the later ones. But anyway, so that aside, here's my old laptop. Or not old one, it's my best laptop. It's my Thinkpad X24. It replaced my Thinkpad what it's called. Thinkpad 385 CD. This is the one from 1995 or 1996, and it has a Pentium 150 and I think 1.2 megabytes of video RAM. As I've maxed this one out to 80 megabytes of RAM, but it still just has a lot of issues with compatibility. I really pushed it. I figured out that normally Half-Life doesn't work on it, but if I put a certain modem card into there, for some reason when that modem card is in the slot, Half-Life works. Well, it works at one frame every 30 minutes, but still, it's weird how compatibility like that works. Well, anyway, so a couple years ago I upgraded to this ThinkPad X24 from about I think 2002 or so. It's a breath of fresh air because this thing happens to have I think a 1 gigahertz Pentium 3, and well, it did have 640 megabytes of RAM. But then I burnt the RAM chip, so now it only has 120 or 192 or whatever. Because what happened was it has 64 megabytes of internal RAM, so it'll always have 64 megabytes. But I happen to have a PC133 128 megabyte card, so even though I burnt the 512 card, well, I messed it up by putting it in another laptop that was dead, and the other laptop I didn't think it would kill the RAM, but it did. Well, anyway, so even though I still have some RAM in here, and it does boot up and stuff like that, most programs just don't work very well on almost 200 megabytes of RAM. So I went to eBay, bought this, another 512 stick. This is an odd one. King Max. This has 16 chips on here, so evidently these are 32 megabytes apiece. Now I hope these are PC133. Only one way to find out. Also, another thing I fixed was the CMOS battery. The CMOS battery has always had some issues with it, because I just taped it together and I didn't solder it before, and I was giving some issues, so I finally soldered it, and it's working quite good now. It's not having the issues of thinking it's not in 1988 anymore, because for some odd reason, this laptop, whenever the CMOS battery is taken out, it thinks the current time is January 1st, 1988. That's very odd, because a lot of computers, usually they are set to the date, to at least the year that they're made. Like, for instance, if I find an IBM Aptiva from like 1997 or so, usually the clock will reset back to 1996 or something like that, not 1988. Well, anyway, let's see about turning this on and see how it goes. Wonder if it can finally play Minecraft, because with only 200 megabytes of RAM, it took about 45 minutes to boot up Minecraft. Oh, there we go. We have 650 megabytes of RAM to use. That's quite a bit better than it used to have, or quite a bit better than it had with that previous RAM stick. You guys may remember this laptop for being the one that spurred me making lithium battery packs. Because, see, I happened to buy a bunch of these laptop batteries from eBay, and these are the first ones that are ripped apart. These ones tended to be very bad quality, like half of their original capacity. So even though these are rated for like giving 2 hours of battery time, usually one of these only gives 1 hour. But I have a bunch of them, so that's okay. I might upgrade them sometime and put actual good cells into them. But yeah, this is kind of what got me started into building lithium packs. As you can see right there, I melted this laptop because I was trying to tinker with making a charger mechanism that could charge my lithium battery pack. I had the battery that I was making, it kind of exploded in there. But oh well. It not really explode, but it arced over, and so a wire got red hot. Well, anyway, let's see if this works any better now. Like Minecraft. Oh man, this is so much faster. That was like 25 minutes before. Look at that. Now I know this is still slow, but it's so much faster than what it was before, because it actually has RAM now. You know, this really isn't as bad a frame rate than I remembered. Maybe the RAM is faster than the old RAM. Now this is booting up in Minecraft 1.1, so I believe this version is still drawing everything below ground. So I wonder if I load it up on Blender or Minecraft 1.8, if the new render engine would make it run even faster. Because let's see. 1 frames per second. Yeah, that's quite slow. Oh, 2 frames per second. Yeah, we got 2 frames per second now. I'll just go into my settings and make it load on the latest release. While that's loading, I'm going to show you guys something. So I discovered that there's actually a light on here. It's an LED up. up here that shines down onto the keyboard. Now, of course, you can't see it too well, but it actually really illuminates it really well. One time I got like the blue screen of death and that LED turned on. It's made me curious ever since. Old graphics card detected. This may prevent you from playing in the future as OpenGL 2.0 will be required. Okay. Let's see if it even works though. Well, that version didn't work too well. Let's just try a different one. So on 1.0, with the window being very small, we get about, I'd say, like 8 to 12 frames per second. Especially when looking at the sky. But whenever we look at all the caves and stuff that are below the ground, that's whenever we slow down a lot. Well, never mind. I totally forgot about the flat world type. You can make it to where it doesn't render caves. You get about between 30 and 12 frames per second in this. It's a lot better too. It's not bad for only having 8 megabytes of video memory. Now, Minecraft would be able to run on much smaller computers if only they didn't use Java, because Java is pretty much it takes a lot of, well, Java is basically like you're emulating the game on an emulator, so I bet you could probably get 10 times more performance out of Minecraft if they used a different programming language. Oh well. And hey, look at this. It works with surfing the web quite well too. It finally doesn't like freeze up, because before trying to surf the web was a pain. Now, of course, still trying to play a YouTube video, that'd be a pain, but I can answer emails and stuff, so that's pretty good. Now I'm installing Microsoft Flight Simulator 2004 on this computer. Let's see if it works. Now, surprisingly, it actually runs Flight Simulator quite well. I have this on about medium graphics, and I've turned off mip mapping. That's why all the pixels aren't blurry. They're all square in the textures. But oh well. I actually think that looks good. Looks kind of like the PlayStation 1. Set the autopilot and bring up the landing gear. There we go. That's actually not as bad as I would have expected. This computer's running quite well. That's at 800 by 600 resolution. I'm kind of surprised that this computer works with my Final Fantasy XIV controller really well. It picks it up perfectly. And this laptop's doing quite well too. That RAM was definitely worth the $10 I paid for it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. See ya!